We'll see, though. Life would. If there's anyone.
Yeah.
It will be him, but it's not going to be the case.
Not going to do it.
As this is a very nice cohesive color scheme on Humble Life, which I do appreciate. So, looking at the draft, I think KT's draft does have a lot of power.
When we get into it. But Kingen still 100% win rate so far this season on the Renekton, and that is terrifying.
Azir going for Comet, and as we see here, actually, that's pretty interesting setup. We're going for Unflinching as well as Gathering Storm, so Zeka still looking to be getting a lot of power as we go later into the game.
It's about protect the president, and Viper will be able to do a lot of consistent damage in the late game as well on this Xayah. If you can have those big feather storms, the big blade callers, going to be pretty important as Kingen almost manages to get knocked up there by Keen. Does move out of the way of the knockup, so should be all right.
Nice sidestep. Keen is 6 now, so gonna have to be a little bit more careful with approaching that turret. I don't think King is at any threat right now, although BDD does have his ultimate available.
Yeah, he is just going to walk on over. There's the call of the Forge. Got a lot of long-range power here as the Rite of the Arcane. Oh my goodness, almost takes him down. There's the flash for the stun. And Kingen is going to be able to get over the wall, but he's still dead. That is an Arcano Pulse for first blood for BDD.
And was feeling safe. Held on to his Dominus as well. I wonder if he would have moved on to Keen earlier if there was an option as life goes in, but this is a Rakan, so notoriously difficult to get on top of.
Have been focused on Drakes, but it's going to be double neutral objectives going over the Humble Life esports. Yeah, Lance is going to come in as Life just takes a Rite of the Arcane, actually predicting the flash, but there's the Heartbreaker. Grizzly now in trouble, but he does just say nope. And it is going to mean a reset on that Rift Herald, so KT still with an opportunity there. But they get them the heck out of dodge. His way out as well as Cuz moving into the pit. We'll get a stab down, and there is the teleport from the Ornn. So he will arrive about the same time as the Keeper's Verdict is going to send him away. And now the Crocodile's making his way forward. It is Poppy that locks down the Drake, and the Viego's already dead. It's a decent quickness for Lahans as they get all the knockups. And now it's Aiming's turn to pop off. Kingen is trying to take control of this fight, and Aiming's in melee range, but Lahans is there for the CC. Viper's in trouble as well, as Keen should have a Bellows Breath available. Not going to find the Arcano Pulse, but I think he's still going to have to flash, and there it is. Keen and BDD, the Bash brothers here in this game, as Zeka, not a whole lot he can do at this stage, but 2 Drakes do go over, and there is a big combo, but still, Shifting Sands going to get him out of there, and look at that Dragon. Absolutely gorgeous. Everyone's going to be sprinting around the jungle. Take him out, and then not going to be involved, and then they're out of threats. You've got a bit of an engage here. KT have just found Grizzly. We'll see whether he can get out of here. There's the Blast Cone, but the Ram just mows him down. And Keen going to be able to lock down that kill.
You know, Grizzly gets picked off. That's definitely rough as, oh, the Keen TP.
Man, this could be a pretty dangerous Ornn, and in it comes. He gets the knock up there, is just not able to walk it out his life. A little too slow on this Leona. And it's not over yet. Right of the Arcane, the DDR. Viper's trying to play it, but has to flash to get out of the way of the grand entrance. But here into the back line, it's the Heartbreaker for Cuz as he dives forward. Zeka has to flash the wall, but now it's cleanup time. You ain't getting away from this, Zeri, as there is a whole bunch of kills going over to Cuz here. Picks one up in the form of Zeka, and I think this game is all but over. This is, you know,
very relatable.
Some stories from not necessarily the highest tier League of Legends, but still ones that I want to share. As Kingen could be in trouble once again because Aiming just loves ganking the Crocodile. The Dominus comes down, and Kingen's just going to have to try and walk it off. Yeah, Aiming's spacing's pretty nice. Zeka is going to come in. Aiming just says pop, and even Keen able to find a knock-up onto Zeka.
By the way, so this game is...
Oh, dear.
Yeah, no, it's very dumb.
They're going to let him live. Well, Solar Flare is going to
not that.
Walk off the Rite of the Arcane.
Working out exceptionally well, right?
Yeah.
As he'll marry it. Why not?
On top of a control ward, and they're not even going to remove it. BDD not going to be teleporting into that pit, though, as here's the Ornn. Life going to be taken down, trying to keep them busy if he can. It is going to be the Baron secured by Humble Life Esports, but is it? Baron for Nexus, they're trying to get themselves out, and they're hoofing it.
The heist!
They managed to get out, thanks to the Cloud Rift in part, but they are going to be able to delay this game a little longer.
Can Zeka make it home? Ooh, I think... Oh, Aiming.
Oh, he does find the Extendo Beam. Does manage to skate his way out, but now he doesn't have any mobility. Decent DDR, but the last shot's going to get in there thanks to the buffs to the Xerath ultimate.
Crucially, we don't actually see Zeka, I think, stay with the rest of his team.
He's just painting. He's got his Wacom tablet out, and that is a decent trade back.
Hey, that's a gold positive Baron power play.
Hey, like 1,000 of the gold as well.
Aiming and Lions. They're like, nope, nope, no, we're not walking up there.
Aiming has decided that he's a jungler. That is how he's going to do it
live. Don't do it live.
Oh dear. He is Leona, gets to press W, but look at how many friends are here as well, because there is a Xerath with Ride of the Arcane available of KT here as Zeka finds himself in front of Cuz, who is just very happy with this whole situation. And look at this. Yeah, it's just a gank by BDD from 1 billion miles away. As BDD is just poking. And it's looking very dire. So the last turret of the inhibitor variety is going to be taken down here towards the top side. Potential team fight could break out as Cuz goes pretty deep into that backline. The explosion of damage from Aiming as he presses the R button, and so does BDD. Viper not going to dance his way out of that one. Aiming collects another one of these kills, and it is just clean up. Aiming just walking under Nexus turrets. The Arcano pulls for the triple. BDD just demonstrating that, by the way, the POG is mine, if you guys forgot. We didn't forget BDD. It's totally okay. We are terrified of what you're doing on this champion. And Kingen, he wants out. He wants into game number 2 ASAP and wants to forget this as soon as possible. KT returning to some form here in game number 1.
Turrets on both sides of the map.
Oh.
And this wasn't even when they were like at a point in time in the game where the lead was completely blown out, right? Like once you get to like 5K, understandably, Humble Life doesn't really have any response to what is happening.
I don't see where that necessarily fits. So any support would be a thing. Oh, where is that going?
Circles!
Let's do it. As that is going to be Viego locked in. So top lane Poppy here for Keen, who is just sticking on the tank hype train on into Poppy is exactly what they want. KT once again coming out of the draft feeling good. We'll see whether this is their first red side win.
Zaya, Azir.
There's a bandage toss like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Renato kind of just doesn't care, as it turns out. Just kind of press that, what is it, logistics program to get the shield. Yeah, it's the cupcake.
So
I just always call it cupcake.
Is
it Surprise Party Amumu? That's the one?
Know.
I think it's the Surprise Party.
You know, he might be getting a handshake on his birthday. That's nice. Good buffer there from Zeka.
Nicely played.
And we're going to be looking again towards the early objectives here.
Life is crying, and it does make a little bit of sense because Cuz is making his way down. That flash, that may have sealed his fate, as there's a flash forward from Aiming, trying to make this one happen. It could just be a double here as Cuz almost gets the bandage toss after the possession. Finds the reset onto the minion, so at least going to be able to utilize it.
How you look at the mid to late game for Humble Life, because then all of a sudden, you are the one winning the stalemate, right? You're the one winning the poke war. You're the one winning neutral. If you can just land a W or two on BDD, on Aiming. For Humble Life, it's spooky if they can layer enough damage on top of it. Are going to rely on Zeka.
Yeah. Oh, does manage to make his way in. Emperor's Divide is going to push the Amumu away as there's the flash forward. Aiming is going to pick up the kill. Cuz possesses once again, and he finds Viper here. He's just not finishing. Finds yet another one as the Heartbreaker. He gets over the wall, but there's the flash. Aiming's over as well. The aggression doesn't stop, but Viper does have a blast cone, and he is going to be able to make it to safety. It shouldn't actually allow them to have any control over this dragon, though. KT just kind of relentless this game.
I do see Viper is able to barely make it out as in they go.
Yeah, there's the hostile takeover. The exhaust comes down onto King, and Aiming just throwing these feathers around. Will the Blade Caller come through? Featherstorm, and that's going to get the flash, but not going to be able to secure the kill.
That comes down to Viper. It's more so where the resources were allocated, how much pressure KT put on this early bot side, and Life just not really performing as King and going in.
Yeah, let's see whether he can actually get this one, as he's decided that he's ran out of buttons, and so Aiming not even having to cleanse in this situation, but there is.
Well, yeah.
There's no Drake for Humble Life Esports. That is absolutely true. And Keen didn't even need to move from this bottom lane. Could continue farming things out, and he's actually got a CS lead with the happy feeding that the Crocodile was doing in this instance. He could have been towards that top side. Does now have his teleport available, but That was a lot of milling about. Yeah, and they're going to get a ward into this pit. Cuz can make his way in as he's slinking around in the mist. And this Baron is going down very, very quickly. In goes Key, though, finds a big wallbang onto King, and Zeka going to take down Cuz, though, as in goes BDD, finds 3 with the Emperor's Divide. Gets a lot of damage onto Life, and aiming is just going to whip up Zeka. The explosive charge still on him. He does not care. And Life Esports, they went for the Hail Mary, but unfortunately it did not work because there is a Yordle with a hammer. And Kingen just going to get sliced up. BDD, oh man, he is just the Emperor today, is he not? Getting damage down in the rest of this fight is just another, like, it's like you expect this. Even gets, like, a Rift Scuttler alongside.
If you get there, which at this point doesn't seem very likely. KT doing their homework though as Hail Mary engage.
Looking for it. Aiming could be in trouble. That's a flash, but the Featherstorm is going to be there. He does land on top of Grizzly, which is a bit dangerous, but I mean, I think the wallets are looking a bit heavy here. The Rel's going to go down. Cuz will take down the Amumu once again. He just loves transforming into Amumu, I'm pretty sure. As Zeka getting a decent amount of damage, but it's on to Keen. Oh my, that was a fully stacked explosive charge. Yeah, I think he healed Keen. With that one.
It's going BT. There's no Kraken Slayer in sight. Oh sorry, yeah. Kraken Slayer. I mean, Lord Doms.
Yeah. KT just going to take the stuff from the enemy base. They take both of the inhibitors. There are now 3 missing on Hanwha's side. And it's just looking all but impossible. They don't need a Mountain Soul. If they just take down these Nexus turrets. Kingen looking for an angle, looking for a way to get in, as there is the Keeper's verdict. Life dives forward. Keen is just a monster tank in this fight. There's a hostile takeover. It's just so difficult for them to find any of these engages. And that is an Emperor's Divide used on just G-Riz. And that is the state of this game. Viper is going to explode to a Tristana bomb that Cuz picked up. Cuz really enjoying his time as the mid laner of Life Esports here, in the second Nexus of the series will fall down. KT dominating.
Yeah, when the casters are like, no, the reverse sweep, I swear it can happen this time.
I mean, technically it's possible. If KT's Nexus explodes 3 times in a row.
Let me take you. This is so overdone. I can't even do it in earnest. Into their new jungler.
Yeah.
As we rounded out with a Cassante. KT's draft, extremely well-rounded. Great engage. A little bit short on the range department, but I don't think that's that big a problem when you have Alistair and Annie to make sure that you can still look for those snap engages.
And they are going to be flashing for it in this series. We'll see how it goes. We hop into the Rift, but maybe the last game. I mean, that paid off in what, like 2017?
No idea what the context is at all.
They hadn't won an AFL championship since like 1964.
A what?
Level 4. And King just trying to keep him interested.
Oh, this wave state is kind of rough here for Kingen.
Oh, there's another Infernal Chains, finds the Q3, and Kingen was baited in. Keen gets out of the way, and that is first blood. Kingen, you could see a little bit of a scratch of the head there. KT get themselves yet another first blood. Still not going to be able to stop it or anything like that. They do just know they have a flash advantage on the top side of the map, and now they have Elise in up there as well. But BDD just ahead of that potential play as Keen is going to find an all-out under the turret. Keen actually taking a lot of damage as BDD now looks interested because the Infernal Chains come in, and there's the flash. Tibbers, Kingen's just dead. He does a bit of a flip in the air, but Tibbers comes down and says nope, and Grizzly is going to find a bit of damage onto BDD, but BDD's got a bodyguard. Finds an Incinerate stun there as well, and Tibbers just going to chase down the Lee Sin. No option. It's incredibly valuable as there's the headbutt, taxi, flash, Polv onto Viper. Good flash to get out of the way of the Grand Entrance as Viper has to Killer Instinct and flash to get out of the way of it. Letting us know exactly why Lehens has been denied Alistair so many times. Aiming does have to flash for this play, but now Cuz is diving towards Grizzly, who's flashing away immediately. BDD with a stun on hand, but doesn't have the most health, and Keen moving in here now as well. We got back coming through from the bottom lane as Keen is taxied forward. There's an Emperor's Divide used defensively. Works out quite well here for Zeka as it's going to be the steal, and Grizzly's going to go down as well. A kill for Cuz is massive as Life does dash in. They do get an all-out though, and now it's Keen dashing around this fight, but still I think he's too low, and they're going to grab a couple of kills off the back end. Cuz gets the eye. They lose out on the team fight, and Cuz still could be in trouble here. Does wait for the Q2 before using the leap to get himself out, and he will be able to escape.
Viper. There's his Hex Flash.
Yeah, there's the Hex Flashing Bull, and he is just going to dance underneath this turret. Nice little stun there. Viper no cleanse, remember. But Lehens is going to take a lot of damage and isn't able to tank the turret forever. And Grizzly being in the area, Viper can stick around.
Still the Herald in pocket.
Another Hex Flash here from Lehens. There's the headbutt pulverizes. Zeka is going to get stunned up momentarily. Still not taking that much damage as he does have the Merc Treads available. And is going to be able to keep himself up with the large amount of magic damage that BDD is going to be doing, mitigated by those shoes in the last game to maximize cooldown.
That was a tempo ult, and it, you know, they got the dragon.
BDD's going to flash. He does respect the Emperor's Divide. Zeka taking a bit of damage here as BDD not able to offer too much back. And Tibbers is going to be executed there. As Life and Lehens here just duking it out, both aware of each other's position as Hex Flash over once again. There's a headbutt into the wall. Pulverize does come through also as he doesn't manage to get the boot back. It was actually almost a very cute play. Yeah, and Keen getting the memo very, very quickly. Q1 does connect.
Might have an actual fight on our hands here for this objective.
Oh, that blast.
King walking over.
Aiming actually looking for the angle as Cuz is going to burst himself in. There's a quickness onto the bug. Viper trying to find the Acathian Rain, and now it's just Lehens kind of by himself. BDD moving in though. Doesn't have Tibbers available, but the Incinerate is still there as Cuz trying to get some health back here by pressing W on this Gromp. Does get the health charge after he takes it down. And now King keeping this dragon busy. Kingin is pretty scary in this moment. Shellfish not going to be taken here as it now moves over towards Grizzly. The dragon back in the pit now as the battle lines are set up. The Sand Soldier's in there as well, and it looks like this Drake is going to be given over to Harmalife Esports. KT recognizing they can't fight this one. And poke this in the eye as he does get a headbutt back onto Life. He's going to come in, but he does get pulverized out. There's a kickback onto Cuz, who's unable to secure the eye. Nicely played there by Grizzly. Extendo Beam doing some work as Lehens has got flash. There he goes. Find a pulverize onto Grizzly, but doesn't get Life with it. As the safeguard does come back. Lehens doesn't have Hex Flash yet, but he does have an Unbreakable Will. Let's see whether he can keep himself alive as he's still looking for even more, just dancing around the rift. It's going to be Zeka that locks down the kill. And yeah, Lehens sometimes just does things like that. Keen towards his bottom side is going to be able to get out of the way of the Infernal Chains, utilizing his W and aiming moving down. Our first Chemtech Drake is on the rift. Mega Blast Cone comes in as Grizzly's going to get the jump scare. Cuz dives forward. There is Tibbers, but he's going to get ulted away by Zeka. They're just taking so much damage, and aiming just ults his way in. That's a double kill as he takes both of them. Wants to kill this turret as well, but the backdoor bonus is going to mean that's going to be all right. And Tibbers tanks this one up for him. Thank you very much, Tibbers. And BDD teleports him into the mid lane. We've now got an all-out angle here for Keen, going aggressive onto Kingin. See whether the world is going to end or whether Cassante is going to Cassante. And it looks like it's going to be the latter as Keen gets the solo. It's starting to look like those people are going to feel better about saying that.
Yeah, but they shouldn't, because it's hindsight.
No, exactly. Results-based analysis is something that we have heard a lot about. As Grizzly is just going to explode, Ignite is going to tick down, Lehens going to grab himself a kill, and I mean, not a whole lot you can do. They're trying to fight for any sort of control, but they're against an Umbral Glaive on a fed Kha'Zix, right? How are you ever supposed to keep wards anywhere ever? As the Baron has already been started, Keen is just going to wander his way over. Lehens just being a bodyguard. Life, don't know whether he's going to be able to get in there. There's the flash, the special delivery of the pigeon. They just roast him. That is dinner prepared, and they'll take a Baron as well. KT eating good tonight. Azeka just going to bail from the whole situation. And KT, they just really, they took the mid game and they said, okay, we've had our fun, let's win the game. And that looks like what they've decided to do.
Yeah. It's an 8.5k gold lead, Atlas.
Yeah, no, this
it is dire.
Well, aiming might get caught, and he is going to dash into an Emperor's Divide. He explodes a little, and he's going to go down. So Zeka winning on the damage numbers. You love to see it.
Which you should not have be doing is Kingen going down, but that is about to happen.
This seems against the game plan, as he has decided he wants to end the world. It's a lot of damage. BDD actually just flashing away, Cuz not going to quite find the Q, but Kingen is still going to be dead. And the teleport does come in from Keen, so still the KT game plan working out. All the W's beautiful here from Keen. Deciding to go all out now onto Zeka. KT, they can move towards a Baron that is just spawning about this second, and it's Grizzly that's caught alone! The W doesn't land there from Cuz, the kick comes back, but Lance is just keeping him busy. Acute to Taxi, but it's not gonna work. And now aiming, almost actually that caught out of position thing, but he did have a bodyguard. It's Keen there, he's got his Gargoyle Stone Plate, so he ain't going down anytime soon. And now a quick fallback to a Baron could be coming through here for KT. And then you don't get your Chemtech value. As KT are just going to move to winning the game here. And they're going to move to the bottom lane and do the same down there. Of course, remember, they do have the Baron from earlier.
I don't think the heist is successful, Atlas. I think the plan has failed.
I want to go back to talking about the bounty.
All right, live.
Lane. All right, Void connects onto BDD. Just don't really see any angles. It's okay. Grizzly's going to find a kick flash onto aiming. And then get the heck out of there with a safeguard as Life dives into the back line. If at first you don't succeed, try again! But I don't think it's gonna work. Extendo Beam comes in and now aiming. He's just getting that health back. He's under 50% as Viper is gonna die somewhere off in the distance. An Extendo Beam from aiming's going to do it, and the wallets, I think, are just too heavy. KT gonna get to work on these Nexus turrets, and it is indeed that clean 3-0 with nothing to see here. Welcome to Daejeon. 2 KT Rolster, our first seed, are going to make up for their previous loss in the last best of 5, and they are heading to the losers finals. Yeah.
But the win this decisive with a great 3-0, every single game being 100% in your control, that's still going to be a very nice boost going up against T1.
Hey, welcome back to the space for the winners interview with BDD and Jisun. Hi, congratulations. 축하드립니다. Thank you for joining us. How do you feel after this series? 3-0.
3대0 완전 완승을 가져오셨는데 소감이 어떠신가요?
하나 상대로 3대0 할 자신 있었는데 저희가 최근 경기 져서 조금 분위기가 내려온 것 때문에 조금 불안하긴 했는데 정말 기분 좋습니다.
I was pretty confident about this clean 3-0 up against Hana live, but because we just dropped our previous series, so we were a little bit nervous, but it feels great to pick up a 3-0.
Yeah, you during the pre-game interview with the coach, you guys were reflecting on what went wrong against T1, quoting the draft mostly. Is there anything you reflect on that didn't work out during the T1 series that you feel like you improved on today?
오늘 경기 사전 인터뷰에서 코치님도 T1전에서는 뱀픽적으로도 조금 아쉬운 부분이 있었다라고 하셨는데 그렇다면 오늘 경기에서는 좀 잘 개선됐다 싶은 포인트가 있나요?
일단 경기 끝나고 뱀픽 얘기도 많이 했지만 플레이적으로 얘기를 더 많이 해서 일단 뱀픽은 조금만 수정하면 돼가지고 인게임 내 플레이를 얘기 되게 많이 했던 것 같아요.
Well, after that series, we did touch on the draft, but it was mainly about the gameplay, so our draft only needed a slight adaptation, and we mostly talked about our gameplay.
All right, well, talking about the draft, Jason, I feel like we have to talk about one specific champion here in the mid lane. Xerath, talk me through this champion, how strong it is, and also could you please rate your performance today as you got 2 player of the game?
뱀픽적인 얘기를 하자면 오늘 안 물어볼 수가 없는 질문이 있는데요. 바로 제라스 픽 등장이 정말 엄청난 활약으로 한번 증명하는 그런 게임 1세트가 됐습니다. 제라스 픽 등장 배경이 어떤지도 궁금하고 오늘 POG를 2개나 받으셨는데 본인 경기력에 대해서는 어떻게 평가하시나요?
일단 제라스는 예전부터도 아지르 상대로 괜찮았고 최근에 또 버프를 받기도 해서 연습했는데 상황이 나와서 꺼내게 됐고요. 그 다음 T1전부터 게임이 되게 잘 된 느낌을 받아서 앞으로도 더 잘할 수 있을 것 같고 오늘도 만족하는 경기력이 나온 것 같습니다.
Well, everyone knows Xerath is a really good pick into Azir. It's a kind of a historic matchup, and recently this champion got a buff, so I thought it was a very viable pick into Azir, so I tried it in practice for a couple of times. And also, about my performance, I was pretty confident, and also I was happy with my performance starting from the T1 series, and I'm really confident that I will perform even better
You've been playing for such a long time, honestly, and through different teams and different eras. Do you think this is your best year yet, BDD?
BDD 선수도 정말 오래된 경력을 갖고 계시고 언제나 놀라운 활약과 성적을 거두셨는데요. 그렇다면 올해 정말 황금기가 온 것 같다. 정말 나의 최고의 시기가 온 것 같다라는 생각을 하시나요?
보통 높이 올라갈 때마다 제일 잘한다라고 느끼긴 했는데 지금 확실히 뭔가 팀원들이랑 시너지도 되게 잘 맞는 것 같고 그런 게 잘 맞춰져가지고 정말 좋은 성적 낼 수 있을 것 같은 시기인 것 같습니다.
So whenever I get to have a really good outcome and result, I always answered, I think this is my prime time, this is my golden time. But right now, I can surely say this is my peak and the prime time because the synergy between my players, the dynamic within KT roster players is on point. So I can surely say this is right now the golden era.
And I feel like I heard that you guys are friends even outside the game. Can you tell me about the relationship you guys have within this KT lineup and how much it helps to be friends beyond the rift?
특히나 KT 선수단이 워낙 좀 5명 전체가 정말 친구처럼 지내고 게임뿐만 아니라 정말 현실 일상 세계에서도 정말 친하게 잘 지낸다고 들었는데 이런 점이 또 팀적으로 좋은 성적을 거두는데 어떤 도움이 되는 것 같나요?
뭐 확실히 뭔가 게임이 잘 안 될 때도 그때 뭔가 장난치면서 분위기도 다 같이 풀고 뭐 일단 제가 생각하기엔 약간 맏형인 슈이 형 역할이 되게 크다고 생각해서 슈이 형이 분위기를 되게 잘 만들어주는 것 같아요.
So because we're so close to each other, it really helps, especially when we are not having the best time. To be honest, so even if we lost a match or a game, we still joke about it in order to have the high spirit.
Yeah.
And I really want to give a shout out to Lee Hens because he is the oldest member on KT roster and he's the one always taking care of the team atmosphere and he is always bringing joy to the team.
Yeah, is he the most goofy one, you would say? Because we always see him do cheer you guys up in game. We hear him during the mic check, during the weird celebrations, also the Zeus one. I don't know what this was about, but yeah, tell me about Lehens as a teammate and the joy he brings to the team.
그러면 리엔즈 선수가 팀 내에서 가장 장난꾸러기 역할을 맡고 계신지 항상 경기 끝나고도 좀 다양한 세레머니도 보여주시고 마이크 체크에서도 가장 장난을 많이 치시는 것 같은데 실제로도 그런가요?
네, 좀 아무리 좀 마이크 체크에서도 보셨듯이 너무 시끄럽고 귀가 좀 아프더라고요. 실제로도 장난을 너무 많이 쳐서 요즘 좀 귀찮습니다.
Yeah, as you guys can just see in mic check episodes, it's too loud, It hurts my ears and it's a little bit annoying. And these days, he doesn't know limits. So I'm kind of getting annoyed by it. But yeah, he's the most goofy one for sure.
Bad teammate. We were talking about KT performing so well. You guys got all the All-Pro. Some might have called it a curse. But can you reflect on the fact that you were the best team this split and that you were awarded the All-Pro?
그리고 이번 서머 시즌 이제 전원이 올프로 1 퍼스트 팀에 선정되었는데 이제 이런 점이 정말 KT의 현재 경기력에 대해서 어떤 부분을 보여주는 것 같은지 사실 많은 분들이 KT 하면 또 기대컨을 잘 해야 된다 이런 게 있는데 이런 부분에서 우려가 되는 것도 있는지 지금 이번에 올프로 선정에 대한 소감이 어떤지 궁금합니다.
일단 당일에는 정말 기분 좋았는데 뭐 다음 날부터 까먹게 되더라고요. 그리고 제가 사실 그때 당시에 초비 선수가 받을 줄 알았는데 받아서 정말 기분 좋았고 사실 당일에만 기분 좋았지 그 이후에는 뭔가 그런 부분이 의식되고 막 그런 것 같진 않아요.
Well, we were really happy and super stoked on the day it was announced, but like the next day we all just kind of forgot about it because also I thought Chobi would win first team. So personally, I was really happy to find out I was actually voted for the first All-Pro team, but the next day I think we were not paying too much attention to the result.
Business as usual. I mean, performing like this throughout the whole split, I think it makes sense. I think I can speak for all the KT fans here when I say that it's always scary watching you guys play, even if you perform. So how do you reflect on the curses and superstitions around KT roster?
많은 분들이 정말 KT가 정말 잘할 때도 KT 기대컨을 잘 해야 된다. 너무너무 기대를 많이 하면 안 된다. 이런 반응을 많이 보여주시는데 이번 서머 시즌의 활약을 돌아보면서 어떻게 잘 치르신 것 같나요, 이번 시즌?
일단 되게 만족스러운 시즌인 것 같고 뭔가 하면 할수록 호흡이 잘 맞는다는 것도 느껴졌고 그래도 저희가 스프링 때도 시간 지날수록 잘해지긴 했거든요. 근데 마무리가 되게 안 좋았는데 이번엔 마무리까지 꼭 잘하고 싶어요.
I think we had a decent season altogether, especially our teamwork has become more and more solid as time went by. But I think we had a very similar trend in spring as well. We were having this up and up trend until the end of the regular season, but our end was a little bit short. So I want to make sure that we can have a different outcome this time around.
All right, I'm noting this, of course, and I have to ask among all the fans, I don't know if you saw all the fan perception and community perception around the fact that you guys chose T1 over Hanwha Life Esports. Can you give me the reasoning behind this and how much it affected you that fans reacted that way?
사실 이번에 KT가 첫 매치에서 T1을 상대로 지목하면서 많은 분들이 우려 섞인 목소리를 보내기도 했었는데 이런 점에 대해서는 선수단에서는 어떤 식으로 조금 받아들였나요? 이런 팬들의 반응을.
일단 저희가 그때 자신감이 너무 많이 차 있었고 아직 T1이 엄청 그때 페이커 선수가 들어온 지 얼마 안 돼서 엄청 강하다고 생각은 안 하고 있었거든요. 그래서 이제 뱀픽을 짜다 보니까 T1 쪽이 조금 더 편해가지고 선택하게 됐습니다.
So we were a little bit too confident at that point. And also that was like right after Faker had his return to the roster. So we thought that they are not in the T1 form yet. And we were already like working on the draft. And we kind of realized maybe drafting against T1 would be easier for us given the fact that Faker just made his comeback. So we wanted to go for that.
Well, you're gonna have the rematch against him. Any thoughts on this one and how you think it's gonna go?
곧 있으면 리매치가 있을 예정인데요. 페이커 선수와의 리매치 어떻게 보고 계신가요?
일단 리매치 끝나고도 다 같이 얘기한 게 진짜 되게 이길 수 있었는데 아쉽다 이런 얘기 많이 나눴고 지금도 되게 이길 수 있다고 생각해가지고 자신 있습니다.
Like, we were pretty confident because even after that series against T1, we were like, that was so close. You know, we almost won the series, so I'm pretty confident in the rematch.
And about qualifying to Daejeon, and also, what are you waiting for the most when it comes to this event? I know that Peanut yesterday was mentioning that he wants to try some bread. Anything you want to try in Daejeon?
이제 대전으로 가시게 됐잖아요. 가장 기대되는 점은 무엇인지 어제 피넛 선수는 성심당 빵을 꼭 먹어보고 싶다고 했는데 대전에서 진행될 이제 결승전들 무엇이 가장 기대되나요?
저는 그런 거 잘 몰라가지고 대전을 처음 가봐서 그냥 이기고 오겠습니다.
I don't know much about Daejeon. This is my first time over there. I'm only excited about winning in Daejeon.
Of course, as you should. Last question for you, BDD. Is there anything you want to tell the Western fans who are not used to hearing from you on this?
그러면 마지막으로 이렇게 또 글로벌 시청자분들께 직접적으로 인터뷰하는 게 처음인데 전하고 싶으신 말씀 있으실까요?
Thank you. I'm BDD.
Thank you so much, BDD. 축하드립니다. 인터뷰 감사합니다. Jisun, thank you so much for an amazing translation as always. And we're gonna go back to the bracket as I want to mention what is gonna happen in Daejeon next week with Ox and Huni, who can come back, of course, to talk about this. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.